Why, hello and welcome to the program Illumination. We come from, as always, the library of Sunset Lodge 369 in Santa Monica, California. It's great to have you here with us today. My name is Les Jones. Behind the door, behind the board, the backbone of the whole program is the producer, Brother Michael Womack. And with everything we do, we're here to tell you everything about Masonry, our teachers, our leaders, our members, and everything around Masonry. What's most important is we want to hear from you and what you think. You can reach us by email. That's Sunset Masonic Lodge 369 at gmail.com. That's Sunset Masonic Lodge 369 at gmail.com, or you can go to our website, which is sunsetmasoniclodge.org. That's sunsetmasoniclodge.org. We're here most Tuesday nights. We'd love to see you. If you're in the area, if you're a brother, please stop by. We start eating at 6:30, and at 7:30, whatever event we have going on or whatever is going on. By chance, if you're not a Mason, you're coming through, please do stop by, and we'll share a meal with you. The other day, we had a little event at our lodge where we had people from a few lodges in the area within our district come and visit us. And we did a little practice on one of the degrees. You know, there's sometimes when you, among a group of people and one person really stands out, you say, I like this guy. Well, that's what happened to our guest. And I looked at him a couple of weeks ago and I said, I want you on my podcast. And you said, me? You got to be kidding. I said, nope, I want you on the podcast. You got that spirit, brother. Right on. That's so very, very important. I'd like to introduce, I hope I get this right, Brother Erwin Stone. Erwin Stone. I'm sorry, Brother Stone. Thank you very much. Sorry about that, Erwin. It's great to have you here. Thank you for being a part of my podcast today.
Thank you for inviting me. This is my first podcast ever.
There you go. Yeah. Well, see, there you already start out right.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about you growing up, and you went to school. I know you talked about going to college, but tell me about your life growing up.
Well, let's see. I'm what we call an Army brat. So I lived all over the world. I was born in Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Yes.
6 months later, my mom and I jumped on a boat, got on a boat, went to Germany, and I spent most of my time in Germany. I moved every 3 years until I was about 18 years old. Lived in South America, upstate New York. Graduated from high school in Germany, Kaiserslautern, we call it K-Town. Wow. And Army rat. Lived all over the world.
Right. So, what years are we talking about that you grew up? Might get into your age a little bit here. I hope you don't mind.
Oh yeah, I'm a product of. I'm 56.
No way.
Yeah, way. So, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I grew up in the good time of life, I think. Right. This is a good time too, but it was different back in those days.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. You know, what was it like in Germany? And you know, you were bouncing around so much. You know, you saw different cultures along the way. Mm-hmm. What was it like for the different cultures you were visiting?
You know, for me as a kid growing up in that kind of environment, I always thought that's just how it was. I really thought that everyone moved every 3 years. I thought we all shopped at the commissary. We all went to the PX. Yeah. I thought that was just normal life. So I was exposed to the different cultures, the different people, the different foods, the different smells, you know, the different everythings, ways of thinking. And that was just normal to me. I didn't really get a real dose of real life until I came to Los Angeles, I would say.
You know, I think that's so awesome to have that experience. I had to go to college to get that experience. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. I just, you know, all these different people, you know, nothing against my high school friends or anything, but we tended to be there was an inclusiveness with my high school, but it's still within kind of a bubble, you know? Yeah. But when I went to college, it was like all these people from different things. And I loved it. Yeah. I loved learning about different things.
Yeah.
And so did you actually see the difference between the cultures? And you said you were in South America?
South America. I lived in Panama, on the Pacific side and the Atlantic side, Fort Kobe and Fort Gulick. And Panama has changed a lot, you know, since those days, but in the Canal Zone. Again, upstate New York. where there was a lot of, when we get into speaking about Masonry, there's a lot of Masonic influence upstate New York. Um, let's see, Germany, the same thing, being in Germany, traveling all around Europe, Switzerland, Austria, Italy. I've been I've had a very charmed life in that regard.
Really?
Yes.
Well, okay. You're the first person I've had a chance to ask this about. Okay. What's it like to drive on the Autobahn?
That's where I learned how to drive.
Oh, you're kidding.
I learned how to drive on the Autobahn. On the Autobahn, if you get hit in the back, it's your fault. And yeah, you're flying. But we had to study a book probably about the size of a phone book. It was thick, big book, thick book. Here I came to the States and there's this little booklet that I passed with, in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
But I jumped on the freeway. I remember I came here when I was 18, jumped on the freeway, and took off at about 90 miles an hour.
Oh, no.
Got
You're
pulled
used
up.
to that.
Yeah,
huh?
I got used to it. The officer wanted to know how I learned how to drive that fast and that well. Yeah, didn't get a ticket, just got a warning.
Now, tell me, when you're on the Autobahn, tell me a little bit about the instructions on that. What are obviously you go real fast, but what's the speed limit? Is there a speed limit?
As I remember, there wasn't really a speed limit. I remember one time a group of friends and I, what we would do is we would go from K-Town to Mannheim, and it would take us a very short period of time. We'd go about 125 miles an hour to get there and get back, before our parents found out. I hope my mom's not watching.
Yes.
So
we'll edit that part out.
Right on. So most of it is they just teach you how to. It's just safe driving, fast. It's not really about fast. It's about getting to where you need to get to, being aware, seeing what's happening. There wasn't really any of this looking around. When I came from America and I looked, they said look back. I was like, what do you mean look back? But it's just different.
You go about 3 football links just in a little
That's
look
right.
like that.
That's right.
All right, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with me there. All right, now here we are. And where did you go to college?
I went to college. I went to a junior college here in the U.S. when I first got to the States, and then I went to Utah, Weber State University.
Oh wow!
And I played football and ran track up there.
Oh, what position did you play in football?
I was receiver.
Wow!
I didn't have good hands, but I was fast. I ran about a 4.3.
Wow!
4.3
Look out!
40, yeah.
Oh man, okay. And you said we were sitting around before we started the podcast, and you said you did a radio show in college.
I did. I had a radio show. It was KWCR, something along those lines, 88.1.
Right.
Weber State College Radio, and it was called the Soul Station. I was called DJE.
Oh wow!
And it was very popular. We had a good time. We had a weather report. We mixed records and played songs and talked about whatever was going on in the community, and it was great. I was also in a fraternity in college, so whenever we had events, I used that as a platform to promote whatever we had going on.
And your brothers loved you for that.
Oh,
didn't they?
absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, now, okay, we got you upcoming through college. Mm-hmm. What got you interested in Freemasonry?
I did a lot of studying. Masonry or any of those things is one of those things that's just kind of in you, and you're kind of going through life and you see these influences. Like I was saying, I've been influenced by it, I believe, my whole life. Just wasn't aware of it. And then growing up, you start having conversations with friends. You read, family things, and it talks about lodges. You find a good friend and you're talking, and they ask you if you're one. And if I'm one, what?
Yeah.
Are you one of the guys? And that was in the college fraternity as well.
Oh, wow.
So, that comes up. And then, I was like I said, I was a Kappa in college. Right. There were some guys whose fathers were Masons, but, I didn't really know what that meant all the way. And then when I came to California, lived a bit of life, met some people, and a brother by the name of Ronnie Zulu. We met him, had some conversations, and then I met another brother named Rudolfo, who I think was part of Santa Monica 307 for a while. And I just kept meeting these brothers. And so I just started inquiring. And Divine Path took me right on over there to 307.
It's interesting because I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this is something that really grows from within you, that comes out. It's not an influence from the outside, but it's something that grows from within you. and the outside world starts reflecting your inward world, and it just is wonderful. So
Yeah.
that's good.
I say often that, I've always been a Mason. I just haven't received the degrees yet.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot with a lot of people. Some folks are just seekers. Some people just have that in them. And I was lucky to be one of those.
And which lodge are you a member of?
Santa Monica 307 Palisades.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Cool. All right. That's great. All right. Now, you connected up with the lodge, and you decided to start doing this first degree. What was your feelings when you went up to the point of doing that degree? Did they pick on you a little bit about it? Did they say anything?
Well, there's a little teasing here and there. I kind of went into it blind. There's a lot of information out there that you can look at.
Yeah.
But I wanted to not have anything to do with it. That. Anytime anything popped up, I would ignore it because I wanted to have the experience now.
Yes.
I'm still doing that same thing. I'm getting ready to go into my third, and I don't want to know anything about it until I get there. So it was an adventure. It was mysterious. The only thing that made me nervous is that I kept hearing that goat in the background. Yeah.
That's enough to make you nervous, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. But after I got past that, it was fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, how long ago has this been?
Let's see. April was when I did my first.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So you're just starting in this. It's
Yeah.
brand new for you.
Yes, it is, and it's been a wonderful journey so far.
Wow, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. In the meantime, we're going to take a break here to let everybody know this is the program Illumination from the Library Sunset Lodge 369 in Santa Monica, California. It's good to have you with us. My name is Les Jones. Our producer is Michael Wambach. You can reach us anytime you wish by email, and that is Sunset Masonic Lodge 369 at gmail.com. That's Sunset Masonic Lodge 369 at gmail.com, or go to our website, which is sunsetmasoniclodge.org. That's sunsetmasoniclodge.org. We are here most Tuesday nights, and if you want to come by, it'd be wise to send us an email just to double check, but we're most likely open. And we'd love to see you. If you're a brother, we start eating at 6:30 until 7. If you're not a Mason and you're in the area, just stop on by. We'd love to see you and share a bite to eat with you. Our guest is somebody I just met a couple of weeks ago, and his spark and his light and his spirit just really grabbed me. Brother Stone, it's great to have you here
Thank
with
you
us
again for
today.
having me.
All right, we were talking about going up to the first degree, and you're brand new at this. So what was it like after your first degree? You're during the first degree and afterwards. What was it like for you?
You're walking into a whole new world. It just feels like you're being born into a whole new, not really reality, but just a clearer understanding of what's taking place and what's going on. Right. And in the first degree, you're just kind of learning that foundation of what it's all about. You're kind of, but you are experience. You have a lot of curiosity going in, right. And you get past all that. You get this. The lodge is beautiful. The ritual, you learn about the ritual, the brothers, the secrecy of Masonry, and all those things that people, these misconceptions that they have. You see that they're misconceptions, and you don't really know until you know, until That's you're right. there. Yeah,
it's so funny. I when I was doing my degrees, and I think I mentioned this once before. I was doing my degrees and I was watching something. I saw something on the History Channel about Freemasonry. I thought, this will be safe. It's on the History Channel. And then saw something that looked like it might be from a degree or something, a ceremony of some type. Turned it off right away.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Because I don't want to see anything about this. I totally agree with you. I wanted this to be fresh. Yes. I wanted this to be a new experience. I didn't want to find out about it and then go through it, So, in fact, I didn't even step into a lodge room until I did my first degree.
Okay.
That was the first time I even stepped into a lodge room. Okay. And that was amazing in and of itself.
Right.
So, people can talk about our secrets and
they're going to do that. That's a natural human thing it's out of their curiosity. And if they don't know something, they're going to make it up, but you don't know until you know. And the thing that I've seen is that there's little bits and pieces of what folks think they know about what Masons are, what Masons do, but it's so much deeper and so much more wonderful than that. It really is.
I was told a friend of mine, who was trying to tell me about my secrets and everything. And I said, you might get some of the words right, but you sure don't know the tune.
That's right. That's right.
And it's true. A clock is right twice a day. A broken clock is right twice a day. So, they hit upon something right sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know a wonderful lady friend of mine. I would, she loves to keep up on all the current conspiracies and everything. God love her. She's a sweet lady, and everything. Oh, she just got all over me when she found out I was a Mason. And I said, there's nothing. She said, no. Down in the lower degrees, they're keeping you blind.
I've heard that.
It's the upper ones on top of that. That's where you got to watch out. Well, last March, I went through the Scottish Rite and got my 32nd degree. I went back to her and I said, there still isn't anything like that. That's no, it's the ones above you. I said, there's only one more above me. And I just don't think, I said, the foundation of everything. I mean, the foundation and what it's really all about is in the first 3 degrees. I love what I did in the Scottish Rite. Wonderful stuff there, but it's got to come home.
Yeah.
Got to come home to these degrees.
Yeah.
All right. So you had finished your first degree, and you did your proficiency?
Did my proficiency, did long form.
Good.
It was wonderful. And it does something to you when you're going through that process. It helps you. I think what it does for all of us, it allows us to be able to read life better.
Right.
That's what it helps a lot. You're going through the proficiencies, you're learning about the symbolisms, and it lets you see the life that's already there in front of you and inside you a lot better. So it helps you move on your path a lot in a lot better way.
Yeah, those who don't know, with the proficiency you give between the degrees, after you do the first degree, you've got to do a certain proficiency memorization before you do the second. And they have something called, you can do a short form or a long form. And I tell you, man, you're so spot on doing the long form.
Yeah.
It will pay off for dividends like you will not believe as you go on. And do the second degree long form. And third degree, you have no choice. It's the same thing. But it's great. It's good to hear that. Okay, here you are coming up to my favorite degree, the second degree. When did you do that one?
I did that one about a month ago.
Oh, wow. So it's nice and fresh.
And that one was beautiful. I'm already ready, they say, for my next. But during the second, are we allowed to say staircase? The staircase lecture was probably one of the most beautiful things I've experienced.
I love being the senior. I'm the senior deacon of our lodge.
How awesome is that? Yeah,
am I right?
Yes, man.
And you've only heard it once, haven't you?
I heard it. Well, I heard it when I actually did mine, and then I've seen 2 degrees afterwards. So and the day we met during the training.
Right.
It's just a beautiful degree, and it tells you so much about things that we already see in life, and some more. And it just kind of, it's deep. So there's a life of lessons just in that lecture.
Wow. Yeah. And there truly is. I love being senior deacon and just be able to practice. Can you imagine practicing that? I got to practice and make sure I got it right, and being able to go over that over and over and over again. And how cool it is, isn't it?
And I'm sure that things are revealed for you every single time, no matter what. No matter how many times you do it.
You totally understand that, don't you? Now, you were talking about, I'm going to move away from the degrees for just a moment here. You were talking about Freemasonry in New York. Tell me a little bit about that.
I lived in a place called Romulus, New York. And there's Ovid and Euclid and some of my childhood friends that I'm still very close to, and I went to go visit a few years ago. My grandfather passed. I drove from New York City up to upstate Between Cuba and Seneca Lake, and you're driving, you see all the symbolisms and the signs. Wasn't interested in Masonry. I've always been, but it wasn't.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm driving up, I see all these things and Mason this and Mason that, and I find when I get up there to Romulus that like all my my little close circle, all Masons,
Wow.
all Master Masons, doing wonderful things in the communities, not only for their community, but also for the state. And I don't know more to say to that. It's heavily influenced upstate New York. There's a lot of history upstate New York as far
Really?
as Masons and our founding fathers
Right.
and things like that.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And
So I've been surrounded by it and influenced by it my whole life. And once I get to this point and I look back, I'm like, wow, how awesome. Going into Salzburg when I was, Beethoven and
right.
who was it? Mozart was our guy. Beethoven.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all these things you were influenced by it. Our whole world.
It's all around us, isn't it? It's amazing when you go through the degrees and you look around, you see it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. A lot of the good men you find in your life, and good women, because there are, but a lot of good people that you find in your life have some connection to Masonry.
It's great.
Yeah.
In fact, we've had as a guest one of the worshipful masters of the Women's Masonic Lodge.
How awesome.
Here in town. And it's my goal to try to get us together, to work together on the things we have in common. And, stay out of each other's lodge. We've got our thing going on, and that's a wonderful thing. And it would ruin what's special about our lodge.
Absolutely.
But we can come together and share what we have in common and make that bond even stronger to help the world.
That's what it's all about.
And that is what it's all about. We start off with brotherly love for them, sisterly love within our lodge, and we take that spark, we take that light, we take that sun, and spread it to the world. It'd be so much better, isn't it?
And that's what we're here to do.
And I'm preaching to you. I don't mean to do that. Okay, so what was it like after you finished your second degree and you're looking forward to your third degree now?
I've been taking my classes. We have a wonderful trainer over at James.
You're taking classes. Tell me about this.
Well, we every Saturday morning we have class. So we go over our proficiency. We study our proficiency. We study about Masonry, second degree, learn the depth of our lecture and the different things and the symbolism that take place about our working tools, all those things.
Not every lodge has that. That's why I wanted you to talk a little bit about this.
It's a wonderful thing that we have. So every Saturday over in Santa Monica, we have classes every morning. And I haven't missed a class, I think, since I started in April.
Yeah.
And so you just learn about what you've experienced so far. And it's been great. So you go through those lectures, you go through your degree, and you have all this new information. You have these new tools to work with when you're going through your life. I kind of already naturally have just applied these things, but it just kind of gives me some definition and some validity in the way that I move about the world and work with people and help and teach and get taught and, all those things.
That is awesome. Yeah. I like I said, not every lodge does that.
Wow.
So how often, you meet every Saturday morning?
Every Saturday morning.
All right. For how long do you have it for?
We're there from about 10 till 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're there every
it's work. We're putting the work in.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've got to talk to Brother Michael about us doing something like that around here. Who knows?
Let's make it happen.
It's really helping you out as a Mason, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you do something like that between the first and second degree also?
I did. Well, after you get your first degree, then you're eligible to go to classes to learn about, help on your proficiencies and learn about everything you learned in the first degree. And then once you're ready, you go to the second degree. After the second degree, same thing. We go over our little booklet, our manual, our monitor, and we learn what we experience. We get a chance to talk about it. The beautiful thing about Masonry is that you're with a group of like-minded men,
right?
And you get to share in that environment and explore your mind and their minds and take these experiences and just kind of develop them within yourself, and then how you walk out and how you do your thing in the world. And I'm sure I'll be doing the same thing for the next degree after this. And me, because I'm a nerd. Even after I get
Yeah.
my third degree, God willing, I will probably be there every Saturday still in the library because I love books, reading up,
This is it.
and being a historian, and just learning more and more about me. It's an ongoing process.
It's you just
Yeah,
barely scratched the surface, if
I figured
anything.
that. Yeah,
Even if you did it lifelong.
yeah.
The reason why I was really curious about your classes and everything, we had a gentleman who's a member of our lodge from Chile not too long ago on our podcast. And he said it was like 2 years from between the degrees because you actually had to study. You had to do things every week or twice a week.
Yeah.
You went to lodge twice a week for that. And you had to be voted on by the master masons of the lodge to be able to get your next degree. And it's like 2 years he spent. And he said there are many people that spent more than that between degrees.
Well, I've heard that it's done differently in different places. So, but yes, and same thing in our lodge. You have to. They'll let you know when you're ready. You don't tell them when you're ready. You're studying. You're going to class. I go every Wednesday and every Saturday. Wednesday we have the stated meetings the first of the month, and then we have our meetings every Wednesday for and then Saturday mornings we have class.
So you're looking forward to your third degree and the goat. Oh, so I shouldn't say that.
I know.
Brother Michael will edit that part out for
Please
me.
edit that out. For us.
But it's a wonderful degree. It's a good capstone on everything that you're doing, and it's the start of a new beginning for you. And I know for myself, I'm just telling you a little bit. I was so honored. My dad, who's the past master of a lodge in Texas and has been a 40-year plus member of this lodge,
Right on.
flew in from Texas to be a part of my third degree.
Right on.
And it was wonderful having Dad here during that time. And after everything was over, in came my stepmom, and she met me at the end of the altar, and she presented me with my ring, my Freemason ring.
Awesome.
And I wear this with pride. There's nothing quite like this. It's just a lot of love that she gave me, my ring. And so it's great. So you've done a lot of studies. What do you see yourself doing in Freemasonry?
We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to go as far as I'm able to go. Maybe in 10 years or so, I'll be master of a lodge. But I'll just keep learning and growing and helping and doing all those things that brought me there, and then just continue it. I don't know if that makes any sense.
That makes total sense.
I'm in it to win it. We'll say. The brotherhood in the lodge I wanted to share is that you're talking about your grandfather, your father coming. I went to a 50-year pin a month ago or so, and there was a brother who I'd never met before. After he got his pin, he came through, and he's a person I would probably never interact with socially out in the world.
Yes.
But within the lodge, when he looked at me and gave me a hug and said, "I love you, brother. Thank you for coming," there was a sincerity and a realness in there, and that's what a lot of this is all about.
That's right.
So what am I going to do with this? I'm going to continue. I'm going to do what he did. 50 years from now, I'll get my 50-year pin if I'm still around and work it out.
There you go.
Right on.
Well, Masonry is great because of men like you. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you very, very much for having me.
You bet. This has been the program Illumination from Sunset Lodge 369. If you want to reach us, send us an email. That's at Sunset Masonic Lodge 369 @gmail.com. Until next time, have a good one.